Hey, I'm Jason Barry, and I'm a software engineer at WorkOS.
Jason,
Dan,
hey, how's it going?
pleasure.
Early this year, we shipped localization
Yeah, that's
in
right.
AuthKit. That's huge.
Huge. 90
Huge.
different languages. Yeah.
That's what. Tell me what it took to make that.
Yeah. Well, the team did an incredible job. We basically used Anthropic Sonnet 4 to auto-generate translations in 90 different languages.
Wild.
We used React INTL or FormatJS, um, basically like a server-side and client-side
Yeah.
component that makes it easy to add localization to like a front-end React app. So we localized AuthKit, right? It's enabled for everyone by default. You don't
Nice.
have to opt in or do anything like that. And also, we enabled localization in our branding editor. So you can
Love it.
preview what your transactional emails look like, what your custom branded AuthKit sign in, sign up, password reset pages look like in every different language, even supporting custom localization. So if you change, like have a custom page title or something like
Yeah.
that, we translate that on the fly for you in 90 different locales and automatically serve the correct one to your users.
What are some of the biggest language adoptions that we've seen, since the launch?
Spanish, uh, we support many different Indian dialects as well.
Oh, nice.
Japanese, Chinese simplified and traditional.
Amazing.
Um, Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah, lots of different languages. We support right to left languages as well. So like
Yeah.
Arabic and Hebrew, Urdu. And also, yeah, non-Latin characters are supported as well.
I love it. What is the most, speaking of like non-Latin characters,
Yeah.
what's the one that looks the oddest to your eye
Oh
when
gosh.
you flip the switch?
Bengali is pretty crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I am I speak one language, so
Yeah.
I'm not well versed as other polyglots are within our company, but yeah, it's wild. There's some very beautiful languages, and we actually choose fonts in the branding editor that are different based
Oh, no
on the
way.
language that's selected. So like for example, Japanese, we default you to NotoSans Japan because those fonts, those glyphs render better in that font, right? So
Amazing.
yeah, we went the extra mile to make sure that it's pixel perfect.
I love that. Okay, so I want to talk about the technology piece of it for a
Yeah,
second. So it sounded like you're using like fairly standard technologies to do it, but for the translation part of it, you're
yeah,
utilizing AI to actually write the translation.
that's right. So we use an open source library called FormatJS, also known as React INTL, and that's a much saner way to do it than just like importing a bunch of like JSON
Yeah,
dictionaries.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it it provide you can like first what I like about it is that it co-locates your translations with your code. So instead of having like
yeah. Nice.
multiple files
Yes.
open, when you delete your component, you delete the translations along with
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
it keeps those files co-located, a lot easier to maintain and edit. Um, but then we created our own like AI translation pipeline. And that's what we use Sonnet for. So basically, you extract all the strings using FormatJS's CLI,
Mm.
and then we like created a prompt to run those strings through this translation pipeline.
That's so wild. So you also have like a level of like configurability as well. You don't have to be stuck with standard login pages.
No, not at all. I mean, we created a prompt to generate these translations for you, and it just works.
So tell me a little bit. We launched some things today.
That's right.
So tell me what's coming down the pipe for WorkOS.
Well, we're giving a preview of something called WorkOS Studio, and you can think of Studio as a new way of building internal apps that fits really well within the WorkOS ecosystem. So a lot of pain points nowadays with building internal apps are pulling data in from other sources, as well as like a permissioning and governance type of system. And you get a lot of those niceties for free when you use Studio. You know, vibe coding is like the latest rage these days, but it hasn't really cracked into the enterprise.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make that a little easier. So you can kind of vibe code these enterprise ready internal apps just using natural language.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, definitely check out the demo that I gave earlier today, walking through because it showcases some cool features.
I think that's a great idea because so often, I've worked at so many companies and there's so many internal tools that we build because like the integration isn't worth it.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
integrate like in the security risk and all that kind of stuff. And so I love this idea of just being able to easily build stuff behind your like security wall and
Totally.
like just spin it up for the handful of things like dedicated use cases that you need.
I mean, IT admins love it because they know that the users using it have the same level of permissions as if they use, straight from the source, right?
Yeah.
Or if that user doesn't have a seat, then they can still configure, okay, I want to use a subset of my permissions
Mhm.
for this given user. So, um,
Now, I know that we can't really probably talk about like specifics at WorkOS, but what are like a class of problems that like we are using this type of solution for?
oh, sure. Um, so let's say you want your sales team to be more proactive about reaching out to customers when
Mhm.
they're running out of credits, so to speak.
Got
You
it.
can create an internal tool. It's kind of like a dashboard
Yeah.
just to see, oh, which of my customers are almost about to cross over, 5% of credits left in their threshold, right?
Nice.
And then that way they can proactively reach out. This is something that sales doesn't want to bother engineering to go build
Mhm.
for them, right? What if sales could just vibe code that themselves?
Yeah.
And then IT doesn't have to worry about, oh no, do we have enough permissions to connect to Salesforce and
Mhm.
this and that? It kind of just works. So it stands upon the shoulders of WorkOS pipes. So any active connector that you have within the pipes, you can talk to within Studio.
Nice. What are WorkOS pipes?
Pipes is basically an easy way to like connect data sources and pull it into WorkOS. So
Oh, nice.
you've seen ChatGPT
Mhm.
unleash connectors.
Yep.
Same with Anthropic with Claude. We're bringing that to WorkOS. So
Nice.
we have connectors already for Stripe, for Salesforce, many others along the way as well.
Cool. And this will be available to anyone who's using WorkOS AuthKit?
That's right.
Awesome.
I think so. Double check that.
Oh man. So I'm curious to get your personal take. We're gonna like just dive in deep to like, what you're feeling about this. Um, I love the way that you've coordinated kind of like existing stable technology that you would use anyway, with AI to do like the AI piece of it that is helpful. I'm curious, like from a software engineering perspective, um, have you enjoyed that experience and do you see that being kind of like that the the best practice moving forward? Did you feel like more engineers will work in that way, where you're kind of like bridging the gap between what architecturally to be strong and solid, and these new AI technologies?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think internal tools are the best use case for vibe coding, right? Because it kind of ushers in this whole like disposable app era, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
you could just generate it, get the task done, throw it away, no questions asked, right? You don't need to worry about maintainability or like
Yeah,
production readiness, right? There's not going to be a lot of traffic going to these things, right? It's kind of like the best candidate to vibe code, right?
yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense and makes sense for us to pursue that direction, I think.
Yeah, I love this notion that of disposable apps,
Yeah.
because it's like you don't even. I continue to think about software as this long running thing,
Uh-huh.
but you could literally just spin it up for like a handful of things that you need to do today
It's
and then be done with it.
I think we're gonna see a lot more software with like a user base of one, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
like I want to create this personalized thing just for me or just for my team or just for my coworkers, right? Um, the amount of apps that you don't even need to distribute really. You just share a link with your team.
Yeah,
You don't need to think about it as like a complicated build step, deploy step. It's
yeah,
just a link that you share, right?
yeah. I love that. So with all of these, with us kind of like bridging the gap between like core technologies and AI, I'm curious, like, do you think prompting, and this is just something I'm thinking, do you think prompting may turn into like more like recipes, like almost a little bit more like cooking, where it's like
Yeah,
you have these kind of like, oh hey, like I spun this up for like whatever. This is the
right.
recipe that I used, like
Yeah.
then technologies and like etc.
I do, and I think that's where Anthropic is going with Claude skills.
Okay.
It's kind of like this like shared recipe runbook type of thing where
Yeah.
the documentation is the code, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of keeping your coworkers informed of like what to do in this certain scenario, right? And
Yeah.
that that's just written in plain English that then the agents can also read and understand and follow and
Yeah.
and understand, oh, I have these tools available. Let me make these API calls. Or, oh, here's this new skill I know how to do now.
Yes.
I'm confident in how to generate a PDF or like all these
Yeah.
things I didn't know how to do before.
There's Fat, one of my like favorite developers, gave a talk one time. It was talking about how the test suite really is like the ultimate artifact of an open source library, because anyone can come in, use new technology, a new technique or whatever, and as long as the tests pass, like you have this like spec for like what that idea is supposed to do.
Totally.
And I love this idea of like kind of getting into like recipes for applications.
I mean, yeah, we saw the era of like test-driven development, TDD. Could we now have skills-driven development, right? SDD, coined here for the first time. You heard it here first.
The dream of TDD is alive in AI.
Right.